Oh, hey, what's up, guys? Reaper here. Springtime has hit us. It's really nice outside, and that means it's time for one thing. Lawnmower racing, y'all! Alright, are we being serious here? Damn right we are. I am seriously reviewing a game called Lawnmower Racing Mania 2007. I'm not kidding. To my knowledge, there are no other lawnmower racing games unless you count stuff like Wreckfest, but that's just a specialty event and not one in which the whole game is racing lawnmowers. Even more baffling, a somewhat known publisher, Vivendi, handled this game. And no, I can't find Lawnmower Racing Mania 2006, 2008, 2009, or really anything after 2007. So this game must not have caught on very well. So how did I find this game? On an abandoned website that I was perusing, looking for something unknown and completely random to check out for a review. I think I hit that criteria perfectly with this one. First off, look at this icon. It's just laughable, right? It just screams patriotism. And the title is equally as ridiculous. This game just screams redneck country. Alright, let's get into the game. Main meat of it is that you have a campaign that you race in which you go through an entire season of lawnmower racing. I can't even say that with a straight face. Whoever thought lawnmower racing would be a good idea? Wait, it's actually a thing? This game is sponsored? No freaking way. Anyway, you need to get in the top 3 in order to move on to the next race. Fail, and you just have to redo the race you're on. Once you complete the season, you are given the option to start over and retain all of the upgrades and trophies that you have obtained, so that's pretty cool. So as for the racing, well, if it's not blatantly obvious, you are racing machines of grass cutting. The controls seem simple enough, but the lawnmowers handle much more differently than, say, cars, trucks, or even ATVs. Because of this, you can manually choose which direction you want to lean in order to help steer your craft around the sharper corners. If you don't do this and decide to ride recklessly, well, there's a chance that you might flip your mower, which is actually pretty comical. And if you're not careful, it's very easy to do, especially when hitting any sort of incline in which your mower might gain some airtime. Let's just say that these lawnmowers do not like leaving the ground. At first, catching up might be a bit challenging, because your mower does tend to be a bit underpowered, but as you play and do well in races, you'll earn the ability to upgrade your mower. This is done in a menu before each race. The catch is that the upgrades are shown to you, but they don't actually tell you what the benefit is until you purchase the upgrade. This is a horrible design choice, but you can probably figure things out on your own. Obviously, you'll want to go for the better engines first to be able to keep up with the opposition. And how do you pay for these upgrades? With brags. According to the game, lawnmower racers don't do it for the cash. They do it for the bragging rights. So from what I understand, these guys build these lawnmowers to go 50 miles per hour, which honestly sounds fun as hell to ride, regardless on the danger involved, and in order to pay for their parts, they simply win races, go to their local, Advanced Auto Parts or something, and say to the clerk, "Hey man, I just won me 5 races, can I get a new engine?" And the clerk looks up the guy's rewards card or something and goes, "Yup. With 5 brags, I can get you a 90 horsepower racing engine, and if you want to throw in 2 more brags, I can upgrade you to the 100 HP model." Yes, it works in the game, but it's seriously absurd to think that you can buy stuff that probably costs a few hundred or maybe even $1,000 for a few bragging rights. Now, I must admit that these upgrades can be expensive and require you to win multiple races before you can afford them. If you can plot out your upgrade path, though, it's really not too bad. I must admit, I actually had fun in this game racing on the tracks. The courses are very country themed, but are varied enough to be enjoyable to speed around on. There's a neat cornfield, some weaving through buildings, and always a pleasure to see icy roads. But there is one fatal flaw that drives down the game a bit. One big, ugly area in which it makes the game a bit too easy. The AI is as dumb as a rock. Just like all country music fans, am I right? I kid. But I seriously hate country music. Who the hell sings about tractors being sexy? Who the hell says stuff like that? Give me some metal! Before I go on a 30-minute tirade about how country music sucks, let me explain AI drivers. At first, they might seem competent enough. They will battle for position and genuinely challenge you. But wait, Reaper, you said the game gets too easy. Yeah, that's because if they get stuck in a corner, they literally are stuck there for the remainder of the race, like a fly stuck on flypaper. It seems as if the developers never programmed the AI to learn how to throw their mowers into reverse. I've already seen races in which literally every opponent is stuck against each other from a bad cornering job, and I can just sit there and laugh at them. Even the end of race camera flips seem to mock them. Yes, it's funny as hell at first, but after 5 or 6 races of seeing this, it just gets sad. Sure, there are a few tracks in which the racers tend to actually stick to racing lines without smacking an object, but it does seem unusual when this happens, instead of the other way around. Even with the horribly designed AI, the game can still be fun. There's a healthy amount of tracks to race on, the upgrade system gives you something to work towards, and let's face it, the mow puns are cringeworthy, but will still make you smile. And in order to show off all of your achievements, there is a trophy room that you can visit to check out the various trophies you might have received on each track. It's easy enough to navigate, and will help you reach that 100% completion if you really want to shoot for something. And wait, what is this race called? The Mr. Plumpy Wiener Cup? I am not touching that. The one thing I will say about the career is that once you start it, you cannot start a new season without completing the current one. It doesn't take more than a few hours in order to clear all tracks, but it still would be nice to be able to start over if you really wanted to. And thankfully, if you are really doing badly on a course, after about 3 or 4 attempts, the game does allow you to continue regardless on your placement. So you won't have to worry about being stuck on a single track due to an underperforming mower. The graphics of the game look, well, let's face it, they look like a budget game. However, even with that statement, I can't say I was disappointed with how the game presented itself. I mean, come on, would you really expect a lawnmower racing game to feature jaw-dropping, high-definition 4K visuals? Nah, it looks like a PS2 game and that's perfectly fine. The music? Well, it sucks. It's primarily country-based tracks, and if you guys missed what I said earlier, I really can't stand country music. I tend to just throw on a hard rock playlist and prefer listening to bands like Avenged Sevenfold, Ice Nine Kills, Santa Sonia, and Sleep Theory over whatever is coming from the speakers in this game. But if you are playing this game, maybe you're into country. That's on you. I will admit that I had to turn the sound effects off though. The engine seemed to glitch and stutter, making the effects much more annoying than the music was. Maybe it's because I'm playing this on a Windows 10 PC, who knows, but it needed to be said since the game is perfectly playable on modern systems. So to wrap this up, I had a surprisingly fun time playing Lawnmower Racing Mania 2007. I really wasn't expecting to. I figured the game would be a crappy mess of pixels that screamed bargain bin, licensed trash that we are all accustomed to. Instead, I found a game that was still fun to play, regardless of the horrible AI. Would I recommend anyone pay money for it? If you're really wanting a physical copy, I really can't recommend paying more than $5 because that would just be dumb. But if you are like me and find enjoyment in playing random games that were long since abandoned by its creators, LMRM07 is a decent way to spend an afternoon. And it's got multiplayer if you have any friends that you want to show this bit of ridiculousness to. Final score? 4 out of 7. This is Reaper. Happy fragging.